Hello, 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 hello. Hello. How's everybody going? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I am fucking dying over here. This is what a day. Whew. 1 second, guys. I'm loading video for my other page, but just hold on 1 second. Hold on. I have so many thoughts on my damn mind right now. Hold on. You're gonna like the editing. Just relax, sit tight. Niners fans have been waiting a long time for this day. Sit tight. Jimmy's coming. I'm editing this video. I'll be with you in just a second. Sit tight. It's officially here. The San Francisco 49ers have traded with the New England Patriots for quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo out of Eastern Illinois. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. First of all, John Lynch has some of the biggest balls in all of the NFL. John Big Balls Lynch, he sacked the fuck up. And you know what he did? No one has ever made a midseason trade. And you know what John Lynch said to all those haters? Fuck all of you. I'm making this big move. I'm taking my cock out and I'm making a big dick move. I'm swinging my balls around and I'm going to make a big fucking move. And he went right into the teeth of Bill Belichick, right up to Bill Belichick, and he protected the first-round pick, and now Kyle Shanahan has his prize of Jimmy Garoppolo. You cannot script a better story. Jimmy Garoppolo is unbelievable. The footwork of this kid, the poise. He's like Josh Rosen, except he's not an asshole. Like, you're actually going to like dealing with him. Josh Rosen's the type of guy that goes around, thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, is a smart aleck, and you saw what C.J. Beathard did yesterday. He sucked yesterday. He couldn't move the ball for shit. And listen, I like C.J., but C.J. ain't going to win you a Super Bowl. He might get you 10, 11 wins. He might be a Tyrod. He might be a Blake Bortles, but he ain't getting you to chip. And Jimmy Garoppolo, the second rounder, has been groomed under McDaniels and Belichick. This guy's footwork is impeccable, almost as impeccable as his hair. Jimmy Garoppolo is unbelievable. And now with Kyle Shanahan, the quick passing game that he's going to develop there, oh my gosh. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, it's like a wet dream for Niners fans, because the one thing about Josh Allen from Wyoming is that he takes a long time to deliver long throws, but Jimmy G is quick on his feet. Jimmy G has great footwork, gets the ball out in plenty of time. Play action city. George Kittle is going to be a monster. The Niners keep their first round pick. Heck, they could go and draft Calvin Ridley next year, Christian Kirk, Darius Geis, Saquon. They can add another player, another superstar. And they can also possibly look for linemen. I know there might be some good Pac-12 linemen on the board. Bottom line, they kept the first overall pick. They now have Jimmy G. They don't have to look for a quarterback. Everything is fine. They figured out the lifelong riddle of trying to find a quarterback. This is the most important day in the history of the San Francisco 49ers franchise for the last 10 years. maybe the last 5, if you know the Super Bowl with Kaepernick, okay? That was the last time, or when Harbaugh was fired. But this is one of the biggest moments. This moment, you know, will define the Niners for about 10 to 15 years with Kyle and Jimmy Garoppolo, okay? Kyle and Jimmy, all right? And John Big Balls Lynch making this move, unfucking believable. At first, he duped Ryan Pace. This is the middle of the season. And he's making this type of move. It is fucking incredible. This was the last thing possible that I expected, because New England, they were so hung tight on not trading him during the draft, and they could have traded him for a first rounder. I don't know why they didn't trade with the Browns or with, you know, another franchise like the Houston Texans for a first round pick, but now they're going to get a second round pick, and I know that second round pick's going to be good because they are 0-8 or whatever. Who gives a fuck? It's a second round pick. It's a 32nd pick. They could have gotten the 12th pick in the draft. So don't tell me that the Patriots won this trade. They got duped at the trade. Maybe they care so much about young Jimmy that they didn't want to send him to that crap hole, that shithole in Cleveland, where he would have to sit for 10,000 years and get benched for guys for noodle arms like Cody Kessler, noodle dicks like Kevin Hogan that can't throw 15 damn yards to save their life with an NFL football. So maybe the Patriots had Jimmy's idea in mind. But you look now at the Niners. They're going to get some receivers. This is this is a canvas that is completely bare. This is a bare canvas. Jim Tomsula, Chip Kelly, and Jed York left Kyle and John with absolutely jack shit, and that's why this team is struggling. Now, Robert Saleh had a good game yesterday. There's talent on the defensive side of the football, and now if the Niners can get a wide receiver, can get a lineman, this team can compete for the NFC West next year. Jimmy Garoppolo will be that good with a year of tutelage under Kyle Shanahan, and you don't need to think about C.J. Beathard. You don't need to coach Josh Rosen, because Josh Rosen is a very, very difficult personality to work with. You listen to anyone that's worked with Josh Rosen. He's an unbelievable arm talent. He's very smart. He's a nice guy. Point is, though, is that he thinks he knows better than coaches. So for the Niners now, they don't have to worry about drafting a quarterback. They keep their first pick, and their first pick can go for a lineman, Calvin Ridley. I think Calvin Ridley would be sensational. You saw what Julio did with Kyle in Atlanta. Maybe Calvin Ridley can be a speedster, can take the top off of that defense. You add him and Kittle together. You go and draft the lineman the rest of the way. Or this is even more realistic, because unless you're not enamored with Saquon or Darius Guice, what you could do is because this quarterback class is incredible. So look at Buffalo. They have a boatload of picks. So the Bills are going to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Tyrod ain't winning a playoff game, okay? And Brandon Beane, he's smart enough to know that Tyrod ain't going to win a championship. The point is, these Buffalo fans are getting so attached to Tyrod. The NFL's a cutthroat business. Tyrod can't stay in the pocket. He's not going to lead you to a Super Bowl. The Bills got to draft Josh Allen. They got to look for a Mayfield, a Rudolph, Lamar Jackson. This is a quarterback-heavy draft, and the Niners now are going to be sitting in the second spot in the draft. John Lynch is going to trade back, get a boatload of shit, and the Niners are going to have an incredible stock of picks to choose from next year. I mean, I can't explain how incredible this is shaping up to be, because now Jimmy G's there. Your franchise quarterback is now figured out. And I know a lot of people are going to say we're jumping to conclusions. First of all, if you didn't jump to conclusions, you wouldn't be watching this fucking show right now. The job of a sports broadcaster is to actually predict what will happen when people get to franchises. That's our goal as sports broadcasters, prognosticators. Sports are the toy chest of life. I mean, this is an important and fun thing to talk about. So we have to make, predictions. And if we're wrong, it's not that consequential because it's sports and football. So listen, he hasn't started a game, yes, but from watching preseason, from knowing Kyle, from knowing how smart Kyle is, to watching what Kyle did with Kirk and Matt Ryan, listen, there's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL, like even Carson Wentz, he wouldn't be, I don't know if he'd be as successful as people would think in a Shanahan offense. Because what Shanahan does, he wants a mobile quarterback. Jimmy checks that box. Lightning quick release. Not a guy like Ben Roethlisberger that's going to hurt you on third down, that's going to go play action over the top on your ass. He wants a quarterback that can hit slants, that can hit throws in the middle of the field, and Jimmy Garoppolo can completely do that, okay? So Jimmy is a perfect fit for this West Coast system. He thrives in the intermediate to short passing game. He grew up under Tom Brady. I know that the Castle and Ryan Mallets are going to get thrown out by haters. And I know that people are only going to say, well, it's only preseason. We only have preseason to judge, okay? A lot of people in preseason thought Deshaun Watson would be shit at this level. He wasn't Heck, Deshaun Kaiser performed a lot better than Deshaun Watson in preseason, and I get it. We need to pivot with our opinions. We need to take data into account. But what I was going to say is Kyle Shanahan, this move for John Lynch is absolutely fantastic. CJ Beathard I don't think he's going to be the guy to ever take you to a championship. They were going to have to use that first overall pick on a quarterback. Jimmy G's played in this league a while. You're going to develop him faster than a rookie. It's a win-win situation. And I know Brandon Cooks I know the Patriots, I think that they might have they got rid of the pick. They gave it to New Orleans, and they drafted Ryan Ramczyk, I believe. So I believe that the Patriots, they're now getting a second round pick that could be used actually for Tom Brady's new heir apparent. So they could go. I believe the Patriots might go with like a Baker Mayfield, who's a pretty special quarterback, or a Rudolph. But I don't think Mason Rudolph's up to the task. But if Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, and Allen are out, it's very sad for Josh Allen because he grew up a San Francisco 49ers fan. So a lot of people wanted him there. But the system, for John Lynch to pull this trade in the middle of the year like this, for him to keep that coveted number one pick, trust me, he is going to trade that pick back. And he's going to end up with Jimmy Garoppolo. And then he's going to end up with probably a late first-round pick, probably a first-round pick next year, and probably maybe even his second-round pick back. So think about this if you're Niner fans. Like, would you have taken Jimmy Garoppolo at the number 2 overall pick with Josh Rosen and Josh Allen? I absolutely would have taken that trade because that's essentially what it's turning into, because these picks are all going to be shopped back. He's going to trade with Buffalo now, and Buffalo's going to go up and take Josh Allen in this draft, or the Jets are going to swing, or someone's going to swing. I mean, Kyle Shanahan or John Lynch has got this thing on lock. He is 3 steps ahead. He's like that movie, Now You See Me. He's like Kaiser Soche and not Deshaun Kaiser. He is steps ahead of all of these guys, and everybody's just trying to catch up to what Kyle is doing. And first it was Ryan Pace, and now this move in the middle of the year when things couldn't be any bleaker for Niner fans, what he did is absolutely incredible. I'm going to throw up a couple of graphics. I was going to do a CJ Beathard film review, and I probably still will do it. Maybe CJ has trade value if he can manage. He's definitely a good backup quarterback, and this move had to be made, especially after yesterday. Niners fans should be rejoicing. It's one of the biggest midseason trades in the history of our league, in the history of the NFL, and it just is a ridiculous move to make this this whole thing possible. I'm going to go and get into my pictures right now. But for the Patriots, they get a second-round pick, Jimmy's gone. They could have gotten a first-round pick. Again, we will admit that, of course, the second-round pick is going to be really legit. It's going to be the 33rd or 34th pick because the Niners, they suck. So, listen, it's a very nice pick, for the for the Patriots. It could have been better, though. They should have traded with Cleveland. They cared maybe about Jimmy. They wanted to see what Tom had left. I still believe Tom has 3 more years left in the NFL unless Giselle wants him to retire. But, I look at Tom and, yeah. So it's amazing. I pretty much summed up that video. You can go back and watch that film. But with this fit, you look at the Niners now. They have Godwin. They have Pierre Garçon, who's aging. The cupboard is so bare on offense that, the Niners are going to have to really stockpile picks and go all offense, and the whole thing's working out great. I like what Saleh did yesterday. That was very important for his development. We have to see how Reed, I believe it's Eric Reed, he's now a linebacker with Navarro Bowman out, which is a very interesting move. Eric Reed's a pretty polarizing player for the Niners in terms of a leader. He's a very outspoken guy, and we're going to have to see if Jimmy Reed's going to be around. If he doesn't function well at this linebacker slot, I think Ray Armstrong's still on the team, so the D-line's toasty. The D-line's very good. With this move now, the Niners are going to be contenders for the Super Bowl in about 2 to 3 years. It just was a move of pure genius, and I can't believe that the Patriots bid on it hook, line, and sinker, and they couldn't get a first-round pick for Jimmy when they had the chance last year. So big-time trade. Crazy shit going down in the NFL. And for the Niners now, it's exciting. I think CJ will still play this week against the Arizona Cardinals. I believe there might be a bye coming up soon. And when that bye comes up, then you can get Jimmy established with the offense, get him a few reps with George Kittle, get him accustomed to Carlos Hyde, get him accustomed to a couple of the receivers that will be on the roster next year, put him in good situations, and just kind of, simplify the playbook for Jimmy, and let's let him, get like maybe 4 or 5 games under his belt. Now, the problem is, I guess if you win, right, then you're screwing yourself because you want to stay in the top 2. It would be advantageous to keep losing close games, but for morale and other purposes, it's looking pretty decent right now because I think the Giants are going to win games. I see the Browns and I see the Browns and the Niners. They're licking their chops. It's looking really good for the Niners in general with this move. So I'll leave you guys with that. This move just made my entire day. It was an incredible decision by John Lynch to do this. I love how John Lynch is GMs. I love these young GM and coaches. They don't take any shit. Like Brandon Beane, everybody was throwing they wanted to just absolutely just go to his mailbox and throw rocks at his mailbox when he traded Sammy Watkins for a second-round pick. But look at the cohesion of the locker room now that Brandon Beane made that decision. And then you look at Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch's first draft, and he trades with Ryan Pace in one of the biggest moves in NFL history. So John Lynch doesn't tiptoe up to his opinions. He doesn't tiptoe up to the stage. He lets it fly, and he does things his way. And I have full faith in Kyle. And I'm just so happy for Kyle because he really deserves this. He's been working his whole life. He's been getting insulted by people just saying that it's nepotism and that you're just daddy's little boy and that the only reason you have a job is because of your dad and you're just a miniature shittier version of your dad this, your dad that. He can finally stick it to these people and proves he belongs as a head coach in this league. And it's been a really tough season for Kyle, going 0-8 out of the gate, losing all these close heartbreakers that I just couldn't be happier for the guy. Anyone who meets Kyle Shanahan will tell you that he's a stand-up character, stand-up man, and I couldn't be happier for him today. He now gets his franchise quarterback. The mystery is over. Niner fans can take a deep, deep breath. You now know what the next 10 years will look like, and it's with the guy to my right leading your franchise. Have a great night. See ya.